Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make this strawberry design, which was designed by me. Um, After I made a strawberry narwhal. I posted it on Instagram and it was on Etsy. Someone bought it from Etsy though. But I made a strawberry narwhal and I was like, why haven't I made a strawberry yet? And then at the time around when I'm filming this, Valentine's Day is coming up and I know like chocolate strawberries are like a thing people give to other people for Valentine's Day, so I thought this would be the perfect time to try to make a strawberry, and it turned out so cute. I'm really happy with this design. So this is the final version of the strawberry. I just thought these two were a little bit too, long. I also just fixed the leaves a little bit on this guy, so his leaves aren't as big. I kind of liked the bigger leaves, but then my little brother was like, strawberries don't have leaves that big, and I mean, he's right, so I fixed it so the leaves are a little smaller. And yeah, so this is the final version. I think he looks perfect. It is supposed to look like he's dipped in white chocolate and then it has like a squiggle down it. But you can also just make it a plain strawberry. It's easy to do either one, so, yeah. So for today, I'm going to be showing you how to make it with the chocolate dip, and the only reason is because it is a little bit, it's not harder, it's just there's one row that's different, that you would just do like a normal row if you weren't doing it. So for that reason, I'm just going to do it dipped in chocolate just because it's easier for me to explain that, because that one's like kind of more difficult. It's not really more difficult, it's just slightly different. So yeah, I'm going to be making another one that's dipped in chocolate today, but if you want to do one that's just plain, all you would do is you would just, I'll tell you what row it is that is the one different row and how to do it, but yeah, basically all you would do is I'm going to start with my chocolate color. So I'm doing white again today just because I was going to do brown and then I realized my desk is brown, so that wouldn't work out, but all you would do is you would just do nothing but the strawberry color, and like I said, all the rows are pretty much the same. I'm making this sound more confusing than it is. It's super simple, but yeah. Actually, I always try to say the difficulty at the start of these tutorials, and this is actually a really easy design, I think. It's just easy. Strawberries are just such simple shapes, so I think this is an easy design. I'm going to try to explain it really well, so that way if any beginners are watching this, hopefully you can follow along, and yeah. So anyways, I guess we'll get into the tutorial. As always, the pattern will be in the description, as well as the band count and everything else, so you can check the description if you want to see any of that. But for today, for my strawberry, like I said, I'm going to be making him dipped in chocolate again. So I'm going to be using white for the chocolate part. And then for the top part, I'm going to be doing red. And I'm also going to be putting a couple random yellow bands in there for the seeds. I did white for the seeds on this guy, so you can do whatever color you want for the seeds. But I'm going to be doing yellow today because I actually really like how that looks. Because I did yellow when I did the strawberry narwhal and it looked really cute. So yeah. And then for the leaves, I'm going to be using the same color as before, so I'm going to be using this jelly neon green. And yeah, so you're going to want to get whatever colors you want for your strawberry. Those are just the colors I'm using. You can use whatever colors you want. Also, I'm going to be using my double-ended hook today, just because I like this hook. We're only using one end, so you can use just a regular Rainbowloom hook, a crochet hook, whatever. You're also going to want something to mark your rows. I'm going to be using a C-clip, but you can use whatever you want. And we're gonna need stuffing. I always forget to mention stuffing at the start of these videos, but we do need stuffing, as well as if you want to do a face, you're gonna need to get whatever you want for the face. I'll be using beads again today, just because I always use beads. But yeah, so I think that is it. So we are going to get started. And like I said, or tried to explain probably horribly before, is if you're doing a plain strawberry, you're gonna start with your red color, and the way I did the seeds is I literally just placed random white bands wherever I felt like they should go. So if you're doing just a strawberry and you don't want to do the chocolate dip bit, you're just going to start with red, and then you'll just randomly place white bands wherever you want the seeds to be. I didn't really have a specific placing order, I just placed them wherever I felt they looked good. So if you're doing if you're not doing a dipped in chocolate, you're going to just start with your red and then randomly place white bands. But I'm doing it. And the pattern's exactly the same for both of them. It's just, yeah. I'm really trying not to be confusing, but I swear I'm probably being worse than anything else. Anyways, we're going to get started. So we're going to start by wrapping a band 3 times around our hooks. This is 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to be putting 5 stitches into this cap band. So if you don't know how to do that, I'll show you, but you're going to want to put 5 stitches in the cap band. So you're going to pull a band through just the cap band, put both ends back on your hook, and then you'll push the back loop over the front loop, like that. And you're going to want to make sure that this band that we push over does not go over the cap band. Sometimes with triple looped cap bands it'll want to, but just make sure it doesn't. But now we're just going to go back through the cap band. You're going to want to make sure you go through the whole cap band. Then you're going to pull a band through just the cap band, so not this last loop. Put both ends back on your hook. Then you're going to push the back loop over the front loop. And then you're going to push this loop from last time over as well. And we're going to do that exact same thing we just did 3 more times, so we have 5 loops in total. So we'll go through the cap band, pull a band through just the cap band, both ends back on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and then push the loop from last time over as well. And like I said, we want 5 stitches in the cap band, so I just did 3, so I still need 2 more. And we're just doing the same thing we did for the last 2 stitches, so I'm not going to really explain this. But we're just doing the same thing as we did for the last 2 stitches. Like that. So once you think you have 5 loops, you're going to want to make sure just by counting. So you'll start by counting the one on your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once you've made sure you have 5 loops, instead of going into the cap band, you're going to go in through this first loop. Then you're going to pull a band through just the loop. So just a loop. Yep, I don't even know. My brain sometimes. And we'll put both ends back on our hook. Push the back one over the front one, and then push the loop from last time over as well. And we'll be putting a C-clip on this one. Like that. So that's the first part. So for the next row, we're going to be increasing everything, and what that basically means is that every single stitch we do is going to be an increase. And I'll show you what an increase is in case you don't know. But I'm picking up bands. But yeah. So all an increase is you're basically going to be putting 2 stitches in each loop. So this loop already has 1 stitch, but we're going to want to go back in and do another one because we are increasing everything. So we're going to go back in. We're going to do another stitch, so like that. So once this one has 2 stitches in it, that was an increase, so we're going to move on to the next one. So all an increase is you'll go through the loop. You'll make 1 stitch, then you'll go back in, do another, and that's an increase. So we'll just keep doing this all the way around. So we'll just make 1 stitch, go and make another, that's an increase. So we'll just keep doing this until we get to the C-clip. We're almost there. And I just want to remind you that if you are just doing a regular colored strawberry, we're doing the exact same thing. Like I said, there's literally no difference between the 2 designs. Basically, it's just a color change thing. So if you were doing a regular strawberry, you would just be doing red right now and just randomly placing the white bands for the seeds. But yeah. Once you get to the one with a C-clip on it, though, you're going to make a stitch on the loop that has a C-clip on it, and then you'll just take the C-clip off that loop and then move it up into the one that's on your hook. But now if we count around, we should be at 10. So we'll start by counting the one on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like that. And I like to kind of start squishing it to a point a little bit. So just like that. Like that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to do 1 row normal. So we're just going to be doing a row of single stitches, and at the end of this row we should still be at 10 loops. So we're not increasing or anything. We're just going to be doing 1 stitch in each loop until we get to the C-clip. I feel like I'm going fast. I don't know. I need to like slow down. I don't know if I'm going fast. I really hope I'm not. But yeah, like I said, we're just going to be doing 1 stitch in every single loop until we get to the C-clip. So we're just doing single stitches all the way around. You know, yesterday I was trying to film a different video that I probably am not going to end up posting because I ended up hating it, but, and I just couldn't get the intro done. Like, I don't know what it was, but yesterday I just kept, like, saying the wrong words, which is a thing I do. I think if you've watched a couple of my tutorials, you've probably caught me saying increase instead of decrease sometimes, but usually it's obvious to tell which I'm doing, so I don't, like, refilm a whole tutorial if I mess up that, but, it was just awful yesterday. Anyways, I made it to the C-clip, so I just made a stitch and moved my C-clip up, and if I count around, I should still be at 10 loops, so we'll count, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like that. So, we're going to be increasing again now. So we're going to increase every other, and what I mean by that is that we're basically going to do a single stitch, and then an increase, and then a single stitch, and then an increase. So we're just alternating between doing an increase and a single stitch all the way around until we get to the C-clip, and at the end of this row, you should be at 15 loops. And I'm just picking up white bands. But yeah, like I was saying, I was just like, I don't know what happened yesterday. I was trying to film a video, and I was just like, my brain. Sometimes I feel like my brain is scattered more than other days. Usually when I'm stressed, but I don't feel stressed, which is why I've been trying to figure out, like, why is my brain so scattered? I don't know, man. Anyways, like I said, so we're going to alternate between doing a single stitch and then an increase. So this first one with a C-clip on it is going to be our single stitch, and then the next one's going to be our increase. So we'll do 2 stitches in this loop. So that way it's an increase. Like that. And then the next one will be a single stitch. And then we'll do an increase. And we just keep doing this all the way around. So we're just alternating between doing a single stitch and then an increase. So single stitch. And then an increase. That's all we're doing. Oopsies. I let go of my loops. Then increase. And then once again, once you get to the C-clip, you'll just make a stitch on the loop that has the C-clip on it. And then you'll just move the C-clip up onto the loop that is on your hook. Like that. So now if you count around, you should be at 15 loops. So we'll start by counting the one on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like that. So now we're going to do, so now what we're going to do next is we're going to do 4 rows of just single stitches. So we're going to have 15 at the end of each row, and it's just 4 rows, single stitches. But if you're doing a regular strawberry, so you're not doing the whole chocolate bit, they're just going to be 4 rows of just single stitches, and you're just going to do them in your strawberry color, whatever. The whole thing is strawberry color. What am I trying to say? But if you're doing the chocolate dipped one, we do switch to red after the first row. So we're going to do 1 row in white still, and then after this row, we're going to switch to red. So there's that, and that's why I decided to do a chocolate dipped strawberry in this tutorial, because we do switch colors and some people find that confusing, so I figured it would just be better for me to do it. But like I said, if you're doing a regular strawberry, you don't have to worry about that. You just do 4 rows of single stitches in your, well, the whole strawberry is in the strawberry color. I don't know why I keep wanting to say in the strawberry color, but yeah. So this row is going to be in white still, but then the next row we're going to switch to red. So yeah, so we're just going to do a row around, single stitches. So we just do 1 stitch in every loop until we get to the C-clip. I really feel like my brain is just being extra confusing today, or maybe I'm not being confusing, but I think I am. I feel like I'm just having one of those days where my explaining is not at my best, Because there's sometimes when I'll film tutorials and I'll be like, oh yes, I explained that so well. Today is not one of those days. But I think I'm still explaining okay. It's just not the best I could explain. I also been following these art people. And I'm on their Patreon because I love their content, so I support them. And and because I'm on the Patreon, they send out emails every month, and she sent out an email the other day where it's like, it was today, but she sent it out, and it was just like, sometimes you don't always put out like A+ work, sometimes you put out B+ work, and it's like good enough. And I feel like that's what this tutorial is kind of like. It's not an A+ tutorial, it's more like a B+ tutorial, if that makes sense. So it's not the best I could do, but I also feel like you can still understand what I'm doing, so, you know. Because I could wait, like, a couple days and then film again, and maybe my brain would be less smooshy and I would explain better, but, I really want to have this out by Valentine's Day, so I'm just filming it today. And if I'm a little confusing and I say a couple words wrong, it's fine. Anyway, so I just finished the row, and like I said, so that's going to be our last row in white, and now we're going to be switching to red. So you're going to want to get your red bands. And I'm just going to do this first row in solid red, and then I'm going to start adding the seeds next row. But, yeah. Also, I just realized I messed up. So when you move up the C-clip, you want this band to be red. So let's undo that last stitch. Let's just undo this last stitch. Because we're going to switch it to red. But as well as switching to red, this is the one thing that is different in this design to the other strawberry, if you just do a plain one, is we're going to be doing a half row just to create a little bit of a divide between the chocolate and the strawberry, just so it looks nicer. You do not want to do this if you are just making, I'm just going to say it, it's like a naked strawberry. If you're making a naked strawberry without chocolate, do not do this row. Do not do this as a half row. You would just do it as a row of single stitches. But if you're doing the chocolate, this is a half row. So we're only going to be grabbing the inner half of the looms for the loops for the next row. So like I said, we're going to switch colors, and we're only going to grab the inner part. So as you can see, there's like an outer part and then the inner part. We're only going to grab that inner part, and we're just going to pull it through everything on our hook, and then push the back one over the front one. And then we're going to put our C-clip back on this one. Like that. So like I said, we're still doing single stitches all the way around, but we're only going to be grabbing the inside half of each loop for the row around. And it just creates, like I said, a little divide between the chocolate and the strawberry that I think looks nice. But like I said, if you're not doing a chocolate dip strawberry, ignore this and just do this as a row of single stitches. But yeah, so we're just grabbing the inside part of each loop and making a single stitch on that. And I know I call it a half row because you're only grabbing half a loop, but it's like a single row, but you only grab half a loop. But yeah, I just want to make sure no one's confused. So instead of going through the whole loop, you just go through the inner half. And then you just make a single stitch. And we're almost back at the start. This design, though, is so easy, I think. We're almost there. Just need to pick up some more bands. Also, I just want to say that the last loop before the C-clip might look a little weird, but it's this one. And you're just going to grab the inside part because we're still doing that. Oop. You'll just make a stitch. And then once you get to the one with the C-clip on it, you're going to go through the whole loop. And then you'll just make a stitch and move your C-clip up. Like that. So that was technically the second row of single stitches. We still have to do 2 more, and they're going to just be in red, and there are just single stitches, and we're just doing it in red, but I'm going to start randomly adding in some yellow bands to make it look like seeds. And I don't slip stitch or anything when I add the other color, just because I didn't do it in this one. It still looked fine. Like, I didn't slip stitch so that way the colors look cleaner when flipped. I just added a different colored band, and so, yeah. But I'm going to stay on camera and do the 2 rows of single stitches. Okay, so I had to just pause because my camera was going to time out, but we're going to start the next 2 rows, and I'm going to stay on to do both of them. I think I already said that. And we're going to start adding some seeds in randomly. So, yeah. And all I do to add the seeds is I'll just do... We're still doing single stitches all the way around, and I haven't been counting at the end of the rows, but if you count at the end of each of your rows, you should still be at 15 loops. I'm just not counting because I'm just going to count when I finish all 4 rows, which is not good if you know that you have problems that you leave out loops, but I rarely leave out loops, so I'm just going to count after the 4 rows. I'm just going to add a seed here, and all I do to add like the seed color is I just literally make the stitch in yellow instead of red, and I don't slip stitch or anything, I just make a stitch. And then we just continue in red for a little bit. And then wherever I feel there needs to be another seed, I'll just add a yellow band. So that's all I do to add the seeds. I just put them wherever I feel, and there's no, like, way that I do this. I literally just put them wherever I feel like they would look nice, and I try not to put them right next to each other, because they are usually a little bit spaced out with strawberries, so I just try to space them out and not put them next to each other. And just place them randomly. Okay, so we're done with this row. So we're just going to do the next row. And we're still just doing single loops, so I'm not really going to explain. I'm just going to go into doing the next row after I pick up some bands. Ah, my C-clip. But yeah. You can see he has a few seeds now. You know, yesterday, like I said earlier, I was filming a video because I wanted to do kind of like a Valentine's Day video for you guys. And it was just going to be a video that was like giving you some ideas of how you could like use loom things on my channel that are already there to make, like, I was going to make little cards that would go with them. So you could give them to your friends just like as an idea or something. It made more sense when I was filming it. But I discovered I hated the video idea because I was trying to film it and I feel like you could just see the pain in my eyes. Like, I hate this because Valentine's Day is not my favorite holiday. And it's not like the whole thing because, like, oh my god, it's because I'm single. No, it's not that. I'm just not, like, the kind of person who does things like that, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really, like, I know there's, like, the way you can celebrate Valentine's Day, like, oh my god, I'm gonna, like, give cards to my friends, I'm gonna have fun with it like that, but I don't do that, and, like, it's because, let me try to explain the idea I had better, because I was gonna basically do it, because, like, I realized when I was looking up for designs to make for Valentine's Day, that a lot of Valentine's Day cards and things, they're just like, they'll make a random pun with something, like a random object, and then they'll just make like a little saying to go with it, and then it'll be, oh my god, it's Valentine's Day, like, kind of thing, if that makes sense. So I was gonna come up with some, like, puns for, like, my bee design, like, be mine, and then, like, attach a little tag to it, and then show you how to do that, as an idea of what you can give to people for Valentine's Day. But then when I was doing it, I just realized I hated it, because it just felt so fake for me, because I would never, like, actually make that and give it to someone. Not because of who my friends are, but just because I don't really give people things like that. And it just seems so cheesy for me. I also am not the biggest fan of puns. And I was just, like, it paid me to do the video, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just not gonna post this. I'm not even gonna make it. I'm just gonna not do it. Like, why am I killing myself to do it if I hate it? But I know you guys probably would have found it useful, but then I decided that I'm just, like, not gonna do that, because it was painful for me. I don't know why, I just hate puns. And it's weird, because I've been trying to think, I don't know how to word it, but I'm not a very, like, affectionate person, I guess. I don't, like, show the people that I care about that I do. Like, it's like they know, but I'm not, like, gonna give you a mushy card. Like, heck no. Cool for you if you do, though. I wish I could be one of those people who are just like, let me tell my friends how much I appreciate them, and I'm just not one of those people. I'm so awkward when it comes to stuff like that. Anyways, I finished all 4 rows. So my strawberry is looking something like this. And if you count around, like I said, you should still be at 15 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like that. So now we're going to start closing him up. And basically, what we're going to be doing this next row is we are going to be decreasing every third. So what that basically means is we're going to be doing 2 single stitches, and then we're going to do a decrease. So this is going to be our first single stitch. So we'll do another single stitch. So we'll just make 1 stitch in this loop. So this is 1. That one's 2. So the next one's going to be a decrease. So we're going to grab the inside part of one loop. And then you get the back part of the next loop. You just make a stitch. And that's a decrease. So I'll show you that again. So once again, we're going to do 2 single stitches because we're decreasing every third. So we're going to do 1. We're going to do 2. And then we're going to do a decrease. So we're going to grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch. And we're just going to keep doing this all the way around. So we'll do 2 single stitches. So 1, 2. Then we'll do a decrease. I'm also going to stop adding seeds at this point. I don't think I'm going to add any more. Again. And we're going to do 1, 2. And then, hold up. I don't know if we do a decrease on this one. I think we do. So your last decrease is going to be on the one that has a C-clip on it, and we're just going to do it. So you'll grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch, and then you'll just move your C-clip up onto this band. So now if you count around, you should be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you should be at 11 loops. And right now is a good time to stuff him. Because we're pretty much just going to be closing him up. So you're going to want to get whatever you're using for stuffing. I'm using cotton balls. I just like how cotton balls look and feel. You know, another thing I've noticed when using cotton balls and versus polyfill, because I do use polyfill for like Tsum Tsums because I think it's really fun to have like super squishy Tsum Tsums. I also like using polyfill in my narwhal design. I just think it makes them so squishy. But I've noticed that when you use cotton balls, you don't really have the problem that sometimes when you're like attaching things, that the polyfill will stick out. You don't really have that problem as much with cotton balls. So that's another good thing about them I've noticed. I feel like I'm so talkative in today's video. I'm so sorry. I've been in the house a lot. I haven't gone out, and I'm just like haven't talked to anybody, so I'm just like talking your guys' ears off. Oh my god. But yeah. Anyways, I just finished stuffing my strawberry. I stuffed him off camera. It doesn't matter. You know how to stuff your creations. But yeah, so now we're just going to continue to close them up. So we're going to be decreasing every other this row, and what it basically means is we're going to alternate between doing a single stitch and then a decrease, and then a single stitch and then a decrease until we get to the C-clip. Okay, I'm picking up bands. I'm sorry. Okay. So like I said, we're going to be alternating between doing a single stitch and then a decrease. And because the last stitch we did was technically a decrease, well, it was a decrease, the next one's going to be a single stitch, so we're going to just do the single stitch. And then the next one will be a decrease, so we'll grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, just make a stitch. And then we'll do a single stitch, and we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. So we're just doing single stitch, and then a decrease, and then a single stitch, and then a decrease, and then a single stitch. And then once you get to the C-clip, the next one would be a decrease, and we're just going to take the C-clip out at this point. And if we count around, we should be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, there's 8 loops, so there'll be 8 loops. But if you have 7 loops, it's not the biggest deal. Because now we're just going to decrease we're just going to decrease everything till closed. So every single stitch we do is going to be a decrease. So, just every single stitch we do is a decrease. And it's really hard for you to see what I'm doing, I know. It's just because it gets so tight here But basically, you're just going to decrease until you can't decrease anymore. And we're almost there. And then once you get the last decrease up on your hook, the last one you can possibly do, you're just going to pull a band through everything on your hook. Then push the back one over the front one and pull tight. And then we'll just hide this into our strawberry. And just pull it in. Like that. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now, that's it for the main part of the strawberry. So now all we need to do is we just need to add the stem and the face if you're doing a face. So I'll show you how to do that next. I'll also show you how to add something onto the chocolate if you want something on the chocolate. I can also show you how to do this one. So, yeah. But we'll do the stem next, and then we'll do the face and all that. So you're going to want to get whatever color you want for your stem. I'm going to be using green again. You know, I just realized when I was making this guy that I could have made a pink strawberry. Like, that would have been cute. I didn't make a pink strawberry. Someone should make a pink strawberry. I might make another strawberry after this video just to put in the thumbnail because this guy is in the right shape, so I might make another strawberry. With, like, the final strawberry. I don't even know why I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. But yeah. So. Okay. So, we're going to start by making the stem on his head. So, all we're going to do is we're going to go directly in the middle. And we're going to get 2 bands. We're going to pull it through everything. Both ends back on our hook. Then we're going to take 2 bands. We're going to double them. Then you're going to pull it through everything on your hook. Both ends back on your hook. And we're going to do that again. So we're going to take 2 bands. Double them. Pull them through everything on your hook. Like that. And then you're just going to take a band. Pull it through everything. Both ends back on. Back one over the front one and pull tight. And you can just leave the tail out for now. But, and then you kind of have to squish it back down because it'll kind of pop up a little bit. It should look like that. And I'm not going to tuck the tail in yet because I'm going to tuck it in after we make the leaves. So, to make the leaves, it's pretty simple. So we're going to start by wrapping a band 3 times around our hook. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to pull a band through the whole cat band. Both ends back on our hook. Then you're going to push the back one over the front one. You're going to go back into the cat band. So we're basically going to be putting 3 stitches in this cat band. So it's very similar to what we did at the start of the strawberry, but we're only going to put 3 stitches. So we'll take another band. We'll pull it through just the cat band. Both ends back on our hook. Push the back one over the front one. And then push the loop from last time over as well. Then we go back through. We're just putting 1 more stitch in the cat band. So once you have 3 stitches in the cat band, so you can count. So there's 1, 2, 3. We're going to just leave this on our hook for a second. We're going to make another cat band. So we're going to wrap a band around our hook 3 times. We're going to pull a band through just the cat band. Both ends back on our hook. We're going to push the back one over the front one. And then we're going to push this loop from this little bit, over as well. And we're going to be putting 3 stitches into this cat band loop again. So this one already has 1. So we're going to do 2 more stitches in this cat band. So 1, and then 2, like that. And then you can see that there's 3 stitches in this cat band. So we're going to do that again. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to make 5 of these little clumps. So I have 2, so there's 1, 2, and you're going to want to make 5. So we have to make 3 more. And we're just doing the same thing. So I'll show you again. So we're going to, after we make sure that this one has 3 stitches in it, and I can just count because I can see that there's 1, 2, 3 stitches. We'll make another cap band. We'll pull a band through just the cap band. Push the back one over the front one. And then you'll push this loop from the last clump over as well. And we'll make 2 stitches in this cap band. This cap band's not cooperating. And you have to be careful that this loop does not slide over the cap band when you first start making it, because that's when you end up running into problems. But yeah. So we're just going to keep doing this. So that was 3. So now I have these 3 clumps, so I still need to do 2 more. And all we're doing basically is we're making like cap bands with 3 stitches in them, but we're looping the tops together. That's all we're doing. I need some more bands. Okay. I'm not really explaining what I'm doing because this is just kind of repetitive. But this is my last clump. Okay. So once you have all 5 clumps, it should look something like this. So you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they all have 3 stitches in each of the cap bands. So once you've done that, you're just going to go into this first loop, and we're just going to make a stitch. Like that. So now it's a circle. So now what we're going to do is we're going to decrease every other, so we're just going to continue going around in the circle, doing a single stitch and then a decrease, a single stitch and then a decrease. We're also going to want to put a C-clip on the band that's currently on our hook. Like that. So, yeah. So the next stitch we're going to do is going to be a decrease, so we're going to grab... Wait. I'm sorry, it's so confusing. This bit's a little awkward because you kind of have to loom it a little awkward. I think I just had my hook facing the wrong way. I did. So the next stitch is going to be a decrease because this one was a single stitch, so the next one's going to be a decrease. So you grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch. And like I said, we're just alternating between doing a decrease and then a single stitch. So the next one's a single stitch. And then a decrease. So inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop. And this is a little awkward to loom, but it's not too bad. And we're just going to do a single stitch. And then a decrease. Then we'll do single stitch. I'm sorry if you can't see what I'm doing. It's really awkward for me to loom. And I'm trying to keep my fingers away, but it's kind of hard for me to see what I'm doing as well. Single stitch. And then a decrease. And then you should be back at the C-clip. And then you're just going to make a stitch on the band that has a C-clip on it. And at this point, you can just take it out. So it should be looking something like this now. Now we're going to do a couple decreases. Because we don't want to decrease it till it's all the way closed. We want to leave it so there's a tiny hole. Because I actually didn't attach these guys at all. Like, they're not attached to the head at all. I just slid it over the stem and it actually stayed. So we're not going to decrease till closed. We're going to do about 4 decreases and then we're just going to tie it off. And then we'll just slide it over the stem. So we're going to do, I think it's 4 decreases. I wrote that down in my instructions, but I'm not 100% certain. So we're just going to do 4 decreases in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so after you do 4 decreases in a row, you're just going to go into the next loop. You're going to pull a band through everything on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and pull tight. So there should be still like a little hole in the middle, like that. And now all we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to slide it over the stem. And this is kind of hard to do. But you're just going to slide it over. And then it should be good. You'll just have to hide these 2 tails. I just don't hide the tails right away in case I don't like where the stem is. That way I can adjust it easily. But if you're happy where everything is, you can just tuck the tails in. So we're just going to tuck them in. I'm going to go off camera to tuck them in because it just takes a while. Okay, so I got this, I tucked the tails in and I got the stuff for the face. So I got my beads, I got the cheeks, and I got a string to put the beads on. But yeah, your strawberry should be looking something like this right now. And all I did off camera was I just tucked the tails in. It's just so hard for me to tuck tails in on camera. But you're just going to want to hide them in your creation. Or your strawberry, I guess. But now we're just going to put the face on, and I'll show you how to decorate the chocolate a bit. But we'll do the face first. So you're just going to want to get a piece of string. I'm using a piece of dental floss just because the string works best because it doesn't fray that much. And then you're going to get your bead. You're going to put it on the string. Then you'll put your band on the string as well. And then you're just going to fold over and go back through the bead. And then you'll just slide the bead onto the band. And we'll do this for both the eyes. And if you don't have beads to use for eyes, you can just use bands. So you can just wrap a band 4 times around your hook and then pull a band through. And it'll work the same as an eye. Like that. So once you have your eyes, you're just going to want to pick whatever you want to be the front of your strawberry. Usually you can kind of tell what the back is, so I just go opposite of that. And we'll put the face right here. So you'll pull the eye. Like that. And push the back one over the front one and pull tight. I've also noticed it's kind of helpful to hold on to the eye when you're pulling tight, because sometimes it'll want to slide into the creation and go backwards. We'll tie another eye right here. I've also noticed I usually do my eyes about 1 stitch apart, so you can see that there's 1 stitch in the middle. I usually tie them about 1 stitch apart. Like that. We just hide our tails. Like that. So now we're going to do the cheeks. I like adding cheeks in all my creations. So all we're going to do is we're going to come under the eyes. So we're going to come, where are we going to come? We're going to come right here. You're going to take a band that's the color of whatever color you want his cheeks to be. You're going to pull it through. You're going to put both ends back on your hook. You're going to push the back one over the front one. And you're going to pull a little bit tight, but not super tight. And then you're just going to hide your tail. Like that. And we'll do this again on the other side. So you're going to want to come right under the eye, pull a band through, both ends on your hook, push the back one over the front one, and you just pull it tight but not super tight. And then you just hide the tail. And I think he looks pretty cute like this, but the way I do my mouth is I'll just cut a black band, then I'll take some hot glue, I'll put a dot of hot glue, and then I just set the cut band on it, and that's how I do my mouths. But I don't show that on camera because I'm pretty sure if I tried to use a glue gun on camera, I would end up burning myself, so we just don't do that. So I'm going to show you how to make a design on the chocolate if you want to. This first one's really simple. All I did was I took a band and I just stretched it around him to make it look like he has some fancy chocolate designs. And I did 3 on him. I don't think I'm going to be able to do 3 on this guy because he's a little bit chubbier. Actually, I probably can. So you would just stretch 3 bands around. And if they're not stretching all the way, just stretch them a little before. And then stretch it around. And I haven't had any problems with them coming off. So you can do it like this, but if you want a squiggle, a way you can do the squiggle, so let me take these off. I'm probably going to make him end up being stripy, so I'm probably going to put those back on. But if you want to do a squiggle, literally all you do is you're just going to take some brown bands and you're just going to stitch in a squiggle. So I'll show you how I do that. And you can do this the opposite way too. Like I said, I used white today as my base because I didn't want to use the chocolate because as you can see, or like the brown color, because it's like the exact same color as my desk. But if you were doing like brown, you would just make the thing on top white. I mean, you can do whatever colors you want. But yeah. So all I did was I basically just started down here. And I just started stitching like a zigzag. So I just started making stitches in a zigzag shape. And this was kind of hard to explain how to do because you just kind of gotta imagine what a zigzag looks like and then just go for it. Like, I literally didn't plan it at all last time. I just kind of went for it. Yeah. So you're just stitching a zigzag up your strawberry to make him look like he has a zigzag on him. I don't know if this is the best zigzag, but yeah. And you can always adjust. Like, if I'm looking at the zigzag, I probably should have come higher up a little bit here so that way there's like a big loop here then like none here. So you just have to adjust, and it just does take a couple tries, but that's how you would do it if you wanted the zigzag. You would just tie it in at the end using a white band or whatever color the main color your strawberry is. But I think that is it for the strawberry tutorial. Yeah, I just don't have anything else to show you because that's the two designs I did on my strawberries. So I hope your strawberry came out okay. I was just undoing the zigzag ones because I want him to be stripy. So I'm going to put the stripes back. But like I said, I hope your strawberries came out okay. If you make a strawberry, definitely share it with me on Instagram. I would love to see how yours turn out. Oh, where'd my other one go? There it is. And we're basically just doing the outro while I finish putting the lines back on my strawberry. There we go. So like I said, I hope your strawberry came out okay. And yeah, I actually really like how the yellow seeds look. I like them better than the white. Not important, but yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I have some more tutorials coming. Is there anything I can show you? I think I've already shown you Queen Bee. She's the only one that's on my desk right now. But I'm hoping to finally make a tutorial for Queen Bee and Carapace in March. I have a couple other videos I'm doing this month, so that's why they're going to be in March, because I wanted to come out one right after the other, so I wanted to be like Queen Bee and then Carapace. Yeah. So subscribe if you want to see more from me. Ah, my camera. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope I wasn't too confusing, and I'm sorry if I rambled a bit. But, yeah. Show me your strawberries if you make them. My Instagram will be in the description. But I think that is it for this video, so I will see you in the next one. Bye.